Damn it! Oh my god, get a life! Do that! Oh my... He's doing spikes again! No! Okay, I'm boosting. Here we go. Alright, X, home and attack! Finish him! So recently on this channel, I got the Platinum Trophy on High on Life, which was a free PlayStation Plus game at the time. And at the end of every month, I will always look at the free monthly games to see if I'm interested to try the game out and go for the Platinum as well. And for the month of March, Sonic Colors Ultimate is one of the free games for this month. And when I was a kid, I absolutely loved Sonic Unleashed, and at one point in my life, it was my favourite game when I was a kid. However, I have never properly played any other Sonic game, as they are just not my type of game, as I do find them quite challenging. But as this game was free, I decided to go for the Platinum Trophy on Sonic Colors Ultimate to see if it is worth it. So throughout this video, I will be ranking these 4 categories through 1 to 10, with 1 being not enjoyable at all, and then 10 being extremely enjoyable and just all round perfect for that category. And I will also be ranking difficulty through 1 to 10 as well, with 1 not being a hard platinum at all, and then 10 being extremely difficult and essentially a platinum that was close to impossible. And I will also be comparing the difficulty to what the guide gives it and explaining whether I agree or disagree with that number from my experience. And by the end of this video, after I have got the platinum and also ranked all 5 categories, I will decide whether this game's platinum is worth it or not, in my opinion. And also, before we get into the video, this is a different type / style of platinum video I am doing on this channel. So if you guys enjoy this video or have any tips on what I could do better, etc., then please let me know in the comments. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the first step when going for this platinum was to just play through the story as normal. And in this story there are a total of 5 planets with 7 acts to complete, with one of those acts being a boss fight at the end of every planet. And there's also a final area at the end called Terminal Velocity, which only has 2 acts, with one of them being the final boss fight. And these planets are all areas to Eggman's amusement park, where we would have to complete every single act in all the areas to stop him and save these things called Wisps, which are these power-ups you get throughout the game. So I started on the first planet called Tropical Resort, and as I was new to this game and only had experience with 2 Sonic games that both had completely different controls compared to this one, I was very confused when learning the controls on this first act. Alright, circle. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I'm already very confused. Oh god, I'm so confused. I don't get this. Oh my god, I don't get this. I will say, I don't really like the controls so far. I don't like how it's circle. You got to hold circle to boost. Like, I would much rather it was square. I would much rather it was square than circle. I do not like how it's circle at all. So yeah, I was really not a fan of these controls, and because I hated these controls, I went through all these acts on this first planet and honestly was not enjoying this game because of the controls. But during one of these levels, I did get my first trophy in the game, which was to destroy 50 enemies using homing attacks. But after completing all 6 acts on this planet, I then got to my first boss fight in the game, which was way easier than I thought. I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do, I will be honest. Do I do the R1 ability? Oh, I can't tell. I can't tell. Let me see this.
There in the middle.
Okay, his
platforms to get closer.
Okay, his weak point is his face in the middle. So that X bit that was coming up, I assume oh, okay, great. I assume yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh, handing out shiners. What is that for? Defeat. Oh, I defeated him. Was that it? I defeated him in less than 3 hits. That was the trophy. I don't know if that's just the boss fight, like he does go down from 1 or 2 hits, or like that was actually a Miscellaneous trophy. And there's another trophy, a student. Get an A rank or higher on any act. Wow, okay. Wow, that boss fight was extremely easy. I wish I got an S rank though. Oh my god, another trophy! All I got is the Tropical Resort t-shirt. Complete Tropical Resort. Wow, 3 trophies. 3 trophies in the span of like 30 seconds. I'm very happy with that. So after completing that first planet, I went straight to the second one called Sweet Mountain. And just like the last planet, I just couldn't get a good score on these levels because I still couldn't get used to the controls. And on top of that, the gameplay wasn't the best and I just couldn't get used to it. But on this planet, I did get 2 trophies, which were both based around destroying a certain amount of enemies with homing attacks. But But after getting those trophies, I soon completed Sweet Mountain, which got me my next trophy. But going into the next planet called Starlight Carnival, the levels got slightly more challenging to where I just kept dying and getting more and more frustrated. So eventually, I just decided to see if I could change the controls in the settings, and luckily I was able to change the boost from circle to square, and the stomp and slide from square to circle. However, I couldn't change the home and attack, as the home and attack had to be the same button input to what double jump was, which I absolutely hated throughout this whole game, as it made moments in the game very awkward. But the slight change in square B into boost now made life on this game slightly easier. But after getting my next trophy to complete Starlight Carnival, I got to the next planet called Planet Wisp. And this planet right here was the start of me getting extremely mad at this game and pretty much losing my mind from this point on till pretty much the last boss fight in the game. Because on this first mission, I got stuck on this point where I couldn't make it to the other side, and because of this, I began to get very angry and frustrated. Oh no, don't start messing around with me, game. I pressed X. What? No. What's going on? Okay, what? Wait, what? I don't even know what's going on. I'm pressing X and it feels like it's doing absolutely nothing. Like, why do I just keep falling to my death? Oh my god, get a life! And I was stuck on this bit for about 15 minutes before I decided to look it up online on how to cross that gap. And it was literally as simple as just pressing X a few more times, but at certain points. So basically, instead of spamming X like I was doing, you had to press X once every second and you will then make it across. So once finding that out, I was able to cross the gap easily, but I still wasn't happy because the game didn't give me any kind of hint or tutorial on how to do that, and it wasn't obvious enough for me to figure out on my own, as I'm a dumbass clearly. But like I said earlier, the game in terms of challenge and just pure stupidity got even worse as I progressed through these levels. Because after completing Planet Wisp and getting my next trophy for it, I went to the next area where in one of the levels in this area, I ran into one of the worst encounters on this game. As this mini boss, I guess you could call it, was by far the worst point in this game, to where I was struggling for ages on it and it made me so angry it was unreal. Oh, of course. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? I die at the very... I assume that's the end of the level, and I die. Typical. Typical! How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know which way, like, where he's going to hit me from? Oh my gosh, man. I can't even boost. I can't even boost! Oh, this is bloody typical. This is so typical. How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to know? Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Oh my sake. Yeah, oh my god, man, this was terrible. But eventually, I was able to complete it with basically a bunch of luck on my side. But I hated this encounter so much because it almost felt like a guessing game to move where there wasn't lasers. And if you had no boost, you were most likely going to die as well. So yeah, I hated that level with a burning passion. But after about 30 minutes later, I got my trophy to complete Aquarium Park, and I was on the second to last area called Asteroid Coaster. And I really enjoyed these missions mainly because of the music and the way the levels looked visually. And throughout playing the story, I was trying my best to get an S rank on any of the story levels, as I knew I would have to get an S rank on every level anyway. But it was also for my own pride, as I really didn't want to go through the whole story and not get one S rank. But luckily, on one of these missions in Asteroid Coaster, I was able to absolutely boss this level and not just get another trophy in the process for scoring 100,000 points in one run using Quickstep, but I also completed it in like just over a minute and didn't get hit in the process. And once approaching the end of the level, I was sure I was going to get my first S rank in the game. Like, is there something I need to do? Because I'm literally just going around in circles right now. Oh wait, there it is. That's got to be an S rank, surely. I smashed it. Yes! Yes, I got an S rank on a mission. Let's go. Oh, shiny. Get an S rank on any act. Wow, I did not think that was going to happen on this first step. I actually got an S rank on probably the easiest level in the game. Oh, amazing. So after getting my first and unfortunately only S rank on this playthrough, I soon after completed all acts on Asteroid Coaster, which gave me my next trophy, which then led me to the final area in the story called Terminal Velocity. And like I said earlier, this area only had 2 acts to complete. And at this point, I was so drained from this game and most of these story missions because I had been getting very angry a lot of the time when playing through this game so far. So I was just hoping these last 2 acts wouldn't be too hard. But the first act was absolutely horrible and I was stuck on it for over 17 minutes. And on this level, there was another one of those mini bosses I struggled on back on Aquarium Park. But after constantly dying to this awful enemy, I was able to figure out that you could just jump over their attacks and lasers, which made this section much easier to complete. So once figuring that out, I was able to beat the level after 17.5 minutes of pain. And after beating that mission, I only had the last boss fight to beat, and in my opinion, this was surprisingly one of the more easier boss fights in the game. However, I was still dying over such stupid stuff and just making really stupid mistakes. But after nearly 18 minutes later, I was closing in on the last moments of this boss fight. Alright, I'm not going to double jump, I'm just going to single jump, because he does it faster. Oh my god, he's going to... Oh, he's doing spikes again! No! Okay, I'm boosting. Come on, please, this has to be it now. This has to be it. The music's intensifying. We've got most of the colours. It has to be it. Yes, that's it. That has to be it, surely.
You horrid little hedgehog!
Yes! No, I won! Oh wait, I've got to spam R1. Okay, I've got to spam R1. Spam R1. Spam it all. Alright, X, home and attack! Finish him! Yes! Oh, that is Eggman defeated after 18 long minutes. That's crazy as well, because that wasn't even a hard boss fight. That was not a hard boss fight. Out of all the boss fights I've done on this game, that was one of the more easier ones. I don't know why that took me 18 minutes to do. Oh well. And there's my trophy. I foiled a plot and I liked it. Complete terminal velocity. Oh, take that, Eggman. Take that, you flipping loser. And after beating that boss fight, I had one more small encounter to complete. And after completing it, I got to the credits. And then once skipping those credits, I got a trophy to skip the credits level. And with the story done, it is now time to give my thoughts and reviews on the story and rank it through 1 to 10. And I'm going to try to be as fair as I can because for about 85% of the time when playing the story, I was raging so much and was actually close a couple times to just stop playing entirely because of how angry the game was making me. But that was mostly because of how bad the gameplay and the controls were, which those 2 things obviously go towards the gameplay category, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. However, I'm still going to give my number based on the story and also the story missions. And I will say, when it comes to the positives in my opinion, is that I actually really did enjoy the cutscenes. Like yeah, nothing much happened in them, but I am personally a very nostalgic person. And despite me never playing this game before, I did feel a little bit of nostalgia when watching the cutscenes, as it did give me Sonic Unleashed vibes, which I briefly said was my favourite game as a kid at one point. Despite it being a typical Sonic story of Eggman being the main villain and you have to stop him, I did like how he had captured all the wisps and then once saving them, you could use them throughout the rest of the game. And as much as most of them made me angry, I did really like the look of some of the areas in the game. But unfortunately, that's where the positives do end, because even though I liked the cutscenes, for example, it was mostly because of nostalgic reasons, and when playing through the levels, I was hating my experience at quite a few points because having to play most of these missions blind, and the game not do a good job of telling you, or at the very least, giving you hints on what to do, just made this experience so bad. And like I said, it was so bad it actually made me want to quit this platinum at times. So because of those reasons, I would have to give the story levels a 4 out of 10, because I just can't help but think of what I went through and the negative emotions I went through as well whilst playing all these story levels. And like I said earlier, I did like the cutscenes, and it's not like the actual story was bad, but watching the cutscenes was one of the only things I actually enjoyed, and it was mostly because of a nostalgic feel to Sonic Unleashed. So yeah, unfortunately this story does get a 4 out of 10 from me. But with the first step of this platinum now done, it is now on to the second step, which was to 100% every area. And in order to do that, I would have to find all 180 red star rings, complete all rival rush levels which you unlock after finding a certain amount of red star rings on the planet you're on. And the last thing I had to do for the 100% was I had to get an S rank on all 44 levels, which was by far the hardest part towards 100% in each area. However, at first, I started off by just focusing on getting all the red star rings and completing the rival rush levels, and I would worry about the S ranks after that, which I would soon realise whilst doing this that that was a mistake to do, which I'll explain why soon. But I started on the first area being Tropical Resort, and I knew that there was a trophy to collect all 180 red star rings, but I also knew that there was a trophy to collect all 5 red star rings on any act. But what I didn't expect was I was going to get a couple more trophies at this point as well, which did slightly confuse me, I won't lie. Okay, the red ring is just over here. So we make sure to jump, and there it is. Let's go. The complete set. So that's to, collect all 5 rings in a single level, and then reach for the stars. That's another trophy. Grab all 5. Oh wait, grab all 5 red rings in one run on. Is that the same trophy, or am I tripping? Oh, there's another trophy. Take that, me. Beat a previous personal best on any level. Wow, 3 trophies back to back. But fast forward a mission or 2 later, and I got another trophy called Precious, which was to collect 300 rings in one run. And then after going through this whole area and collecting all 30 red star rings on this first area, I got my next trophy. But after getting those trophies, I went through every single area and collected all the red star rings and completed all rival rush levels as well. But when I got to Planet Wisp, I started to realise that me not actively going for the S rank during or straight after getting all the red star rings was really stupid and was making this step more stressful for me. Because getting an S rank on some of these missions can be a pain in the arse, as you need certain requirements to have a higher chance of getting an S rank. Some of those requirements are having as many gold rings as possible and completing the level under a certain time. However, one of those requirements that gives you loads of points is collecting all 5 red star rings on the act you're on. So for the first 3 areas, I didn't do this, but luckily I did get an S rank on some levels naturally. But it wasn't until I got to Planet Wisp where I decided to actively go for these S ranks straight away to make my life easier. And some of these levels to get an S rank on were a nightmare, specifically this one on Aquarium Park, as it was one of the more shorter levels, so just getting all red star rings wasn't going to be enough. But honestly, this level was such a pain in the arse, it was unreal, and I began to rage again.
Bruh.
What? Damn it! Oh my god, this is making me so mad. Alright, just take your time, Josh. Take your time. Take your time, Josh. Take your time. No rush. No rush. All 5 rings have been collected. Did that in under a minute and a half. That has to be an S rank. If that's not an S rank, that's not an S rank. How do you get an S rank on this damn level? Oh my god. I don't get how you get an S rank on this level. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not even joking when I say that I was stuck on this for nearly an hour. But after looking up a guide, I was able to finally get the S rank for that level. But after spending the next hour or so 100% in each area, I only had 1 more red star ring to get on Asteroid Coaster before I collected all 180 of them. Alright guys, I've only got 1 more red star ring to get, and it's probably about a minute away from here. Okay, that was good. Alright, so now it should just be to my left down here. So I'm going to stick here, and there it is. There it is, Superstar. There's the trophy. I would look at it, but I am currently on a run, and I still want to try and get this S rank. I don't think I will, but I ideally do want to get this S rank. Oh, at least I've got all the red star rings, but there is no way I'm getting S, or maybe? Oh, wow, I did! Yes! Yes! That was such a bad run from me, but I got it anyway. Oh, let's go. So after getting all the red star rings, I focused on getting the last few S ranks on normal acts that I didn't get previously. And then once getting an S rank on all acts, I just had to get an S rank on every single boss fight in the game. And I purposely left all the boss levels till last because 1, there are no red star rings on those levels, and 2, I was dreading getting an S rank on these levels the most. So I guess there was a part of me that was slightly putting this off. And there are a lot of trophies based around beating certain bosses by getting hit only 3 times or less, and and certain trophies to get S ranks on specific bosses as well. And not to mention that there is also a trophy to 100% each area in the game, which I've been slowly working towards for the past 5 hours or so. And these boss levels were the last levels I had to complete and get an S rank on to get all those trophies I needed to complete the second step. And like I said, I was dreading this because I was expecting to struggle so much, but this was actually way easier and more enjoyable than I thought, as I was able to beat every boss pretty much with ease, get an S rank, and get all the trophies I needed, which are popping up on the screen now. But yeah, I was actually shocked with how easy this was. Well, except for this boss fight here. But yeah, like I said, except for this boss fight, this was overall way easier than what I thought it was going to be. So with the second step of this platinum now done, it is now on to the third step, which was to collect all Chaos Emeralds. And to collect these emeralds, you have to collect all 180 red star rings to be able to unlock all levels on this area called the Game Lab. And how this works is there are 7 stages with 3 levels on each of them, and all you have to do is beat all 3 levels on all 7 stages as normal, and once completing the 3rd level for that stage, you unlock a coloured Chaos Emerald and then get a trophy for collecting it. But once collecting all 7 emeralds, you unlock the ability to play as Supersonic, which is needed for a trophy called Flying Low. So I just went through and completed all 7 stages to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, which gave me 7 more trophies for doing so. And overall, these levels were not bad at all. I mean, there was a couple challenging moments, but overall this was extremely easy and almost a breath of fresh air to focus on something that was stress-free. But whilst doing one of these levels, I thought this was the perfect time to get another trophy to set a personal best score and then break all the numbers on the results screen. But yeah, completing all these levels took me just under an hour and a half, so this didn't take too long at all, and was pretty easy as well. So with the third step of this platinum now done, it is now onto the fourth step, which was to get all the Miscellaneous trophies. And like I said on step 3, after collecting all Chaos Emeralds, you unlock the ability to play as Supersonic, and for the trophy called Flying Low, I would have to complete any act in the game as Supersonic. However, there are certain requirements you have to meet before you play as him, and one of those requirements is you have to collect 50 gold rings before you can use him. So I just went on the first act and made sure to collect 50 rings before reaching the end of the level. And then once collecting those 50 rings, I turned into Supersonic and just completed the rest of the act and got my trophy for it. And after getting that trophy, I only had 2 more Miscellaneous trophies to get, as I got quite a few of them naturally throughout the story, and getting 100% on all areas. So the first one I went for out of the 2 was called Harder Than You Think, which was to complete any act without picking up any rings. And this was another very easy Miscellaneous trophy to get. And then the last Miscellaneous trophy I needed to get was called Breaking Ranks, where I had to break every rank from D to S. And this trophy was pretty much the same thing as breaking the score on the results screen that I got whilst collecting the Chaos Emeralds. And this was slightly more annoying because there was a point where I couldn't get a B score, and then I couldn't get an S score as well. But after a slight bit of struggle, I was able to get that trophy. S rank please, S rank please. Thank you very much, game. Now break that. Break that and get my trophy. There it is. Breaking ranks, about damn time. So with the 4th step of this platinum now done, it is now onto the 5th and final step, which was to complete Egg Shuttle. Alright, so I've only got 1 more trophy left to get now before I get this platinum. And it's to just simply complete this Egg Shuttle. Now, I don't know much about this at all. I haven't even gone onto it the whole story. So I don't really know what lies ahead. I don't know if it's a bunch of missions, maybe it's 1 mission, 1 boss fight, I don't know what it is, but hopefully it doesn't take me too long. But yeah, I just need to complete the Egg Shuttle. That's all I need to do to get the trophy and then get the platinum. So let's get straight into this and get this last trophy. So once going into this Egg Shuttle, it took me straight to the first act on Tropical Resort, and then next thing I know, once completing the first act, it takes me to the second act, then it takes me to the 3rd act, and then the 4th act, then the 5th act, etc. And I just kept playing through this mode until I got to Act 8, where nothing new was happening, and I was just replaying through the levels I've already just done. So I decided to look up a guide on the description of this trophy, and basically the Egg Shuttle is where you have to play all 44 levels again, but in 1 playthrough. So if you die or quit out, you will have to start from the very beginning. And I had seen that this could take anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on your skill level. And although this sounded bad, because I had a lot of experience on these levels and all I had to do was just complete them normally and not worry about collectibles or getting a certain score, etc., this was actually way easier, more enjoyable, and was a lot quicker to complete than what I thought it was going to be. But after beating Eggman, I was expecting to get my trophy, but I completely forgot there was 1 more act I had to complete before getting the platinum. Where is my trophy? Hopefully if I press next, it better give, please. Wait, 45? Yep, I completely forgot about this part. There is a whole minute left of this before I can get the platinum. I completely forgot about this mission. Alright, let's get this last minute out of the way and then get this platinum. Oh no, I'm scared. Boost. I'm just boosting. I'm boosting. I've got loads of boost. Come on. For the platinum! Yes! Give me my trophy. Please, please. Yes! Long haul. There it is. Complete egg shuttle. And where's my platinum trophy? Big, fantastic achievement. Thank you very much. So that is the platinum trophy obtained, which means it is now time to rank all the categories that I mentioned at the start of the video through 1 to 10, starting with the trophies. And to be honest, most of the trophies on this game weren't bad at all, and was actually on the more enjoyable side compared to all the other categories. The only trophies I struggled with was mainly the story-based trophies because of how hard the story levels were to beat on my first go, and getting a handful of the S ranks which goes towards the 100% trophies. But besides from that, the trophies as an overall weren't bad to get. Like getting all the Chaos Emeralds was easy, and so was the Miscellaneous trophies and getting all the boss level related trophies as well, just to name a few. And not to mention that all these trophies were very straightforward despite a few of them being challenging. So because of that, I would probably give the trophies a 7.5 out of 10. Now let's talk about the gameplay. And without question or hesitation, the gameplay was by far the worst part of this platinum. Like, I hated the gameplay for this game for so many reasons. And like I said in my story review, the gameplay was the main reason why I didn't enjoy my time with the story. I mean, there were so many moments where I would press square to boost or X to jump, and there were so many times where the button wouldn't register. And there was also so many times where Sonic would just randomly die for basically no reason, which I hated. But the main issue for me when it comes to the gameplay was the controls. Like, I absolutely hated some of the button inputs for this game, and some of them you could change in the settings. However, for a home and attack, it was the same button input to what a double jump was. So there were so many times where I would try to double jump, but because there was an enemy nearby that the game would lock onto, instead of double jumping, I would hit them with an attack. And I also hated how when you would have to quick step, you would have to flick the left stick left or right, whilst also holding the left stick forward to move forward, which I absolutely hated. Like, it would have made it much easier and much more simpler to be able to press R1 and L1 to quick step instead. But with all of that said, I would have to give the gameplay a 3.5 out of 10. The only reason it's not a 3 or a 2.5 is because the gameplay was slightly better when I did the egg shuttle, as I was more used to it. But even on the egg shuttle, the gameplay was still terrible and some of the button inputs are just a joke. Now let's talk about the graphics / game visuals. And I'm going to take into an account that this is a PS4 game, and not to mention it's remastered as well, as this game came out in 2010 originally. And I think for a remaster, for a game that came out 15 years ago now, this game looks really good. Like, I compared this to Sonic Frontiers, which is the most recent Sonic game that came out, and to me, it doesn't look that much different when it comes to the graphics and visuals. But when it comes to the visuals of this game, I absolutely loved the look and style of all the planets / areas in the game. I thought all the areas looked cool and unique, and in terms of graphics, this game looked great as well considering how old it is. So because of that, I would give the graphics and visuals a 7.5 out of 10. And now let's talk about difficulty. So the guide gave this a 4 out of 10 difficulty rating, and honestly, I couldn't disagree with this more, because the fact how this is supposed to be a 4 out of 10 just tells me that either I suck at this game, or this is just a straight up lie. Because even though the story and some of the S ranks were the only stuff that made me extremely angry at times and wanting to quit this platinum, those two things alone are much higher than a 4 out of 10 difficulty. So in my opinion, I would rate the difficulty as 6.5 out of 10, because the platinum as a whole wasn't that hard. But like I said, having to complete the story and get every single S rank was extremely hard, and on top of that, the gameplay and the controls being terrible just adds on to the difficulty being higher in my opinion. So with all of those categories talked about and out of the way, the question is this worth it? Well, this game is currently a free PlayStation Plus game for this month, so because of that, I'd say it's definitely worth it, or at least attempting it. However, on the PlayStation Store, this game costs £35, and on places like Amazon and CEX, it costs just under £20. And I personally wouldn't spend £20 on this game, because even though there are positives, the gameplay and the controls massively lets this platinum down. So basically, what I'm saying is that if this game wasn't free right now, I would say that this platinum isn't worth it, just simply because of the gameplay and the controls, and just how bad it it was. Because despite the trophies and the visuals being good overall, that's not enough to overtake how bad the gameplay is in my opinion. So that is my thoughts and opinions on Sonic Colors Ultimate's Platinum. If you have the Platinum for this game already, then let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree with my thoughts and opinions on this game's Platinum, as I would love to hear your guys' opinions. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video here, so if you liked this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button as that would mean a lot, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn those notifications on so you don't miss future videos. And take care, see you guys later.